Hello, my name is Kai Unity Kai. I am going to bring you some genetic string. Genetic string is otherwise referred to as G string. And I am going to play that on the PC. And if I can't get my controller to work, I'm going to probably play HellBlade instead. So just launching up Steam.
My aunt think I'm perfect, I know I'm not. My mama be worried, I told her stop. They know I did drugs and think that I'm off. Little do they know I never could stop. My manager hate when I'm pulling up late. Back on my bullshit, she think it's a phase. I got relations I gotta maintain. I'm two different people, my side and my main. Yeah, I'm sober, I'm an addict. I'm a low life, I got habits, but I refuse to be average. Really so tired of acting. Don't know what I miss no more. Too bad you don't hit me more. I'm bad when I get too bored. Careful what you wishing for. I'm a stone cold killer. I'm a billionaire. I got my own gold digger. If I wasn't this way, I'd rather die. No. Did it die? Wait. Did it die? Wait. Did it die? I'm a stone cold killer. I'm a billionaire. I got my own.
Alrighty, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try playing this using the controller. I had an issue with it last week. I'm not exactly sure what was going on with it, but it seems that I have to copy some controller files from Half-Life 2, which I don't have on Steam. I have the non-Steam version of it. Oh, I do have Half-Life 2. Never mind. I guess I do have it. But essentially what the problem is here is I have to copy some files from Half-Life 2's directory over to G-String to use the controller, apparently. But I'm going to try it again and see if I can get the controller to work. If I cannot, I might play some HellBlade instead. With that said, I could just use the keyboard and mouse. Maybe I will, I'm just not really in the mood for it. Rather use the controller. So I'll see what will happen here. So if this is not G-String, this will be HellBlade 2. And also, I think this launches in a windowed mode. I can't remember. I think it does. So I'll go ahead and set this up here. Seemed like the controller tried to work there for a second. After for a few minutes, but I can still hear you. After. Oh, right. This, I can't remember the, how to get past this part. Okay. So, I'm going to do HellBlade, I think. The part I'm on, the reason I justify switching here is because the part that I'm on, I meant to look up a walkthrough for it, a tutorial, but I haven't done that. I don't remember where I'm at. So, it'll be HellBlade 2 instead. Can't remember how this launches. I think in a windowed mode as well, but let's see what happens here. So I guess this will be HellBlade Part 4. So it's HellBlade instead, and again, the reason I'm not going to do G-string is because, first of all, the controller's not working. I have to get some things set, some controller files dragged into the directory and set that up. It's a very convoluted process. And then also I need to look up what to do because I'm stuck. Part of the game I'm in, there's a meteor crashing down and you have to hide, but I don't know how to do it, so I'll have to look it up. So, HellBlade it is, and that, I think part 4, I think. So, I'm using DirectX 11, and the reason I can't use ray tracing is because I'm using DirectX 11. If I use DirectX 12, I can turn ray tracing on. But since it takes a hit, I'm just using DLSS, which is probably looks better anyway, and it runs a lot better. So. AFK. Oh, okay. So maybe I will turn on the ray tracing a little later in the game. For now, I'm just going to use DLSS because I think that is probably perfectly fine. Oh, right. So the wind boss is coming up. Cool. This is a good boss. So this is running DLSS. I'm going to go ahead and switch on ray tracing. Ray tracing activated. Ray tracing high. And DLSS on quality. Highest settings possible. See what it does. I've got a little monitor here to monitor my graphics card and everything else. So if it gets too hot or whatever, I'll shut it down. Don't have the AIO cooler installed yet. Okay, so here's ray tracing. Highest settings. Seems to be running okay. Temperatures are fine. So highest settings possible. Seems to be running at a stable 60 FPS. Stable. Oh, this looks good. Also, this is a 100 Hertz, 100 FPS, full HD monitor. I'm very grateful for these things. And I'm proud of it because I put it together. Well, I didn't really build it from scratch. It's a pre-build, but I've been swapping the parts out. But it, you know, it's like, dang, man, it's kind of like getting a used car and putting an exhaust system on it and a cold air intake, you know, maybe a turbo, you know, it's kind of like that. But yeah, running the highest settings here and 60 FPS. Oh, ray tracing is off. Never mind. Okay, so ray tracing is on. DLSS quality. Apply changes. Okay, so apply changes. Do you want to keep them? Yes. You have not applied the changed settings. Are you sure you want to leave this menu? No. Okay, so I've saved them. Okay, it's saved. So now it's saved. So ray tracing high, quality settings and DLSS. So now let's see how it runs. Oh man, that's a huge difference. Oh my god. Running perfect. So that's a huge difference. Wow. Running 60 frames. Cool. So this CPU is not overclocked. Before I overclock, I want to get the AIO cooler installed. But I have a pretty good-sized AIO. I'll have to take out the back exhaust fan to fit it, and the radiator will fit in that slot. Man, this looks good with ray tracing on. Yeah, so these are the highest settings. I didn't have ray tracing on, but now I turned it on and got DLSS going. Looks crazy. Holy crap. But yeah, I think maybe you were talking about the AIO. Yeah, I have an AIO, Mike. I just haven't installed it yet. But this CPU, I can overclock it. I can overclock it to almost 5 gigs. And it's a 6-core CPU. But I can overclock it to almost 5 gigs. 4.9 gigs, almost 5 gigs. But that's going to generate a lot more heat, so I would need to replace this cooler I have with the AIO. Like I said, I have it. It's sitting on my couch. I just need to install it, and then I can overclock. You know what I mean? And then it'd be even more powerful. So it's not bad, man. It's a nice little setup. You know, and like I says, I know I talk about it all the time and stuff, but I'm proud, you know. It took me years to put this together. Like at least 5 years, you know. A part here and there, you know. So, it's pretty cool. But yeah, running really nice, running 60 frames. So the boss is coming up. Man, this looks freaking good. Holy crap. I think this is using the Unity engine. But yeah, I want to get back into the game development, and I have... The problem is I try to do too many things at once. I schedule things that are like 10 or 20 things at once, and then I just get overwhelmed, so I don't do any of it, you know? It's a problem I have. Now, this is the first game. This is HellBlade. This is the first game. HellBlade 2 is Unreal Engine 5, yeah. I played that too, and it worked great. But I have it on Game Pass, and I didn't continue my membership, so I only got to play it, I think, 2 times, I think. So, yeah, this is the first game. I have the settings turned up so high, so maybe that's why you thought it was the other one. It looks good, doesn't it? It looks real good. Okay, so I need to get across this area here. So this is the boss domain. You just have to figure out the puzzles here, and then you fight the boss. So I'm already at the boss. I just need to figure it out. Yeah, man. I mean, remember the days? I mean, when you first met me, I was using that HP laptop, remember? Come a long way. A long way in a lot of different other areas as well, man. I have a 4.0 GPA. You had seen that. You said, nice. Yeah, man, it is nice. And I'm currently in biology, and I'm doing really good there, too. So, but, holistic health, that's what I want to do. So, I also was accepted as an instructor. And my class curriculum is on metaphysics. But, it is very important to me, and that is my calling. I help people. That is what I do. I'm not a perfect person, but I help people. I try to help people understand life itself, their purpose, so they're not drifting aimlessly. I help charities. I help my local church. I help people in my community. Next is going down to the local soup kitchen and helping volunteer there. And it calls to me, like I intrinsically want to do it. But a teacher, that's what I am. But a teacher of life, of purpose, of your purpose, of who you are, and etc., etc. And I know it might sound cringe, but it's something that has been very passionate to me and intrinsic to me for years. And I think that is honestly what I'm best at. Yes, the soup kitchen. It's a local homeless shelter in my area. And I was looking at their website, and they allow you to volunteer in for their cafeteria, aka the soup kitchen. So I wanted to help with that. And I was planning to do it on a Saturday. So not tomorrow, but here soon I would like to do so. And like I said, it's not something that I don't know. I intrinsically want to. You know, I just like. I got the feeling, you know, and just like I genuinely want to. But helping other people makes you feel good about yourself, and it also makes you feel not so alone, which I unfortunately feel that way quite a bit. It's kind of hard. It really is. Especially as I'm getting older. I'm 36, you know, I'm getting close to 40. And I often think I might be alone for the rest of my life. And it's very scary, not just for companionship-wise, but also, like, security, you know. That's why I look into stocks and things of this nature, you know, so that when I receive my Social Security payment, I can also have stocks and things to add more to my income per month. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at that now, before I get older. But it's very important. And I think that's another thing that other people need to realize. Instead of just going day by day, you need to think about your future, and the earlier the better. Yes, and that's the reason why I want to do so as well. Because it makes you feel good to give back. It makes you feel good to be able to help other people. It's a good feeling. I don't know anybody who has ever helped somebody that didn't feel good about it. You feel good. It makes you feel good. It makes you feel needed. You know, makes you feel needed and appreciated. And those are feelings I need. But aside from that, I also want to genuinely help. I have, and I have done so for a long time. I continue to do so. But it does makes you feel very good about yourself. Okay, so I'm kind of trying to figure this out. I'm only 23 minutes into this, so I've got about another hour and 7 minutes, another hour and 6 minutes. But the goal here is to figure out this puzzle. I'm in the boss domain. I just can't really figure it out here. But it's very easy once you do figure it out. So that's the focus here. But Mike, I really think that you're a very philanthropic type of person yourself. Philanthropy. You also seem to care very much about marginalized communities. I think it was months ago you were talking about, I can't remember the nationality or the ethnicity, but you were talking about refugees in a boat. I can't really remember exactly. But that's just one example, but... okay, I'm going to play along here a little bit while I try to talk. I get sidetracked and I can't really play at the same time. Well, I appreciate that, Mike, and, you know, I feel as though I am. You know, I've made mistakes in my life like anybody has. Things I wished I could change like anybody. But the important thing is who I am today and who I have been and who I continue to be. And that is somebody that is very thoughtful, very kind, helping others, pursuing a degree and an education and a career that will help others. the way that I feel as though is helping people. Dude, this ray tracing looks freaking amazing. I can see why you thought it was HellBlade 2. Jeez. Okay, so I need to get up this little ramp over here. So this is where I need to go, but there's rocks and stuff in the way. But once I get over there, it'll go really, really fast. So this is the slow part, trying to figure out how to get over here. But once you get over there, it goes real quick. And then the boss battle is coming up real quick. But yeah, it looks amazing. But like I said, I think this is Unity 4. Or Unreal 4? I don't know. I want to say this is the Unity engine. For my game development, I'm using the Unity engine. And the reason I'm doing that is because it's very resource friendly. But, dude, I have a script. I have a storyboard, Mike. I have tons of plans. But like I said, that's my problem, is I plan so many things. I stack my plans, and then I just keep procrastinating. I put it off because it's like, oh, fuck, man, that's too much shit. I don't want to do it, you know? I need to start breaking things up. Okay, this day, focus on this. Okay, a few days later, focus on this. You know what I mean? That's how I need to do it. But I'm the type of person that I just want to do it all. I want to do everything. I want, you know what I mean? I want to get it out of the way. I want to do it all at once. And it's, you can't do it. It's too much. So, yeah, it's too much to do it like that. You need to split it up. This day do this, a few days later do that. Yeah. You know, like they said, Rome wasn't built in a day, you know, and what they mean by that is don't pile on too much, you know, break it up. If you pile it on all together, you're not going to do it all. It's going to be too much, and you're not going to do it. You're going to reschedule it. Okay, I'll do it then, you know. Alright, so essentially, I just need to get up this pathway. Once I get through this pathway, the boss is very close. So I just need to figure out how to do it, and I honestly can't remember. It has something to do with this gate over here. You have to look... This is the god of illusion. That's who this god is. The last god I fought was the god of fire, but this is the god of illusion. So he's a trickster. But it has something to do with this gate, and that will set the way for me. So, yeah, and I unfortunately get burnt out all the time, Mike. I'm going 6 days a week. So, my one day to rest and rehabilitate is Saturday. But even then, it's not a complete day off, you know, because I go get produce, make prep a meal, you know, doing scheduling and stuff. But honestly, I don't really mind it too much because I need to be distracted. If I didn't do anything, I'd lose my mind. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't know, man. I worry about my future, and I also worry about it altogether for everybody, because there's problems potentially with Social Security if it's not, if it is not renewed to become solvent again. It could run out by 2030. I imagine it'll be taken care of, but that's an issue. Inflation under Biden, especially, it's really bad. It's not only inflation; it's shrinkflation. You pay more and you get less. There's an asteroid coming by, I think, in the next few years, and Like another 10 years after that, it's going to be even closer. We could be hit by an asteroid that's so big. You know what I mean? And aside from that, climate change. By 2090, the temperature is going to rise so much, the heat waves are going to be continuous. There's going to be famine because of fucking plants are going to have difficulty growing. We're going to have blackouts. We're going to have even less resources. Man, I feel like we are in this stage of life at a very crucial point in our life. I could just be high and drunk, Mike, but, you know, I don't know. I think about these things. So I get some really good stuff in a vape. It's resin. Delta 9, Delta 8, THCP, THCM, THCO, THC diamonds, THC resin. Very good stuff. It's a vape. Well, so okay. So in my opinion, I think that people get distracted. They get distracted by movies and video games and television and the latest McDonald's meal or the latest Arby's meal or the latest product. And they just get distracted. They're blinded to the truth, Mike. Because they're in this state of happiness. You know that song by Pharrell, Happy? Da-da-da-da-da. That Happy song by Pharrell that was really popular in like 2015 or so. But it's to keep everybody in a state of bliss, man. It's like a Fight Club. You know, Fight Club. It's a movie, but there's some truth in it. And people just don't see it for what it is. And that's why I said like months ago that there's a lack of critical thinking. Mike, there's a lack of critical thinking in the world. People just become blinded by consumerism and things, and they don't really look through and research and look at these things and form their own opinion. A lot of people, their thoughts and their opinions are other people's thoughts and opinions. They're just regurgitated, you know. Yeah, I'm not thinking that you don't, Mike. You're a very intellectual person. I'm sure you do. You seem to be very intelligent every time I've spoken with you since I've known you. You seem to be very knowledgeable, very intellectual, intelligent, aware of the matrix. And so when I say the matrix, that's essentially what I was just referring to with the consumerism type deal, where everybody are kept, you know, don't worry about things. Yeah, da, da, da. We're in World War III. We are in World War III. But it hasn't been officially announced because it would cause panic and anarchy. We don't have to be using nuclear weapons to be in World War III. And also, Russia and North Korea just teamed up. If either one of them are attacked, they're going to defend one another. China with Russia? Dude, the United States is no longer the top country, but we still act like it. We would be completely destroyed if they ever decided to launch nuclear missiles. I don't think that's what people need to understand, or I think they don't understand it. We're in World War III. We're in it. But, as they also say, ignorance is bliss, right? If you can't change it, don't worry about it. Okay, I've got about under an hour here. About 50 some minutes. So what I'm going to try to do is figure this out, and because this should be very simple, but I can't figure it out here. So what I need to do is this gate down here, this ramp, I need to get it to where I can walk up there. But there's something that I'm missing and I don't know what it is. Oh, my God. I need to look at the fucking rune. Oh, I'm an idiot.
Overcome Valravan's final illusion to face him in his keep.
Alright, I'm about to get on this.
You have the sight.
We both see the darkness. We can fight it together.
We can fight it together, yes, girl, we will. So I'm pretty fucking high, pretty drunk. So I'm going to turn down my microphone just a tad. And the reason I'll do that is because I think that when I get a little bit drunk, I tend to talk louder. You know, I tend to do that. So I'll turn down my microphone. Hello, hello, hello. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, shit. Yeah. Okay, that seems to be a good volume. Yeah, just trying to make sure that the expressions I might make are not too loud. All right. So I got the rune, so I'm going to continue on here. This is a really good boss fight, too. Probably my favorite.
Speak to me, Druth.
Yes, speak to me.
Tell me a story.
Senua, listen. I will tell you the tale of a man called Findan. The Northmen captured Findan's sister, and his father sent him to pay for her release. But they took his gold, put him in chains, and held him for a day and a night without food or water. Then they released him. I don't know.
Got it.
Upon his return, his father's enemies in
Got
Erin
it.
set fire to his home.
There
His
we go.
mother burnt to death, and his brother was killed. But he escaped with sorrow in his heart. His father's enemies offered redress for his loss and invited him to a feast. It was at a hall near the sea. But when he went there, they betrayed him to the Northmen, who enslaved him and took him to hell. 6 years later, his slave masters landed on the shores of Orkney, burning all before them. And into that fire, Findan made his escape. What was Findan burnt away that day. But from the flames, a new man stepped forward, and Druth was born. Druth, the man that I am now. And though Findan never set eyes on his dear sister again, I, Druth, have found you, Senua.
She could have seen my home before these dark times.
Okay, here comes the boss battle. This is a really fun one, too. Man, these RTX graphics, DLSS, freaking looks cool as hell. Here we go.
The gate is always open.
This darkness. I know it from the wilds. It's coming back for me. I'm still here. Are you too? Where are we? I remember. It didn't end well in the wilds. It never does. You think you can overcome the darkness, make sense of it, and once relief settles in, it strikes out of nowhere, throwing you helplessly back into the maelstrom, drowning the mind in fear, deeper, deeper, dragging you down so far into the void that maybe this time there is no coming back. But there, in the darkness,
Senua,
and she remembered what he told her.
hear me. Reach out to me. Senua, take my iron mirror. Look into it.
Come on,
There is
girl.
a window into the underworld. Within, you will see the face of the darkness that you fear. And if you focus, like I have taught you to, you will also see that as much as the darkness has you trapped within its veil, it too is trapped within yours. Focus. Focus! Focus!
I see you. I see you now. You led me to the wilds. You trapped me there.
Oh my god, this is intense. Quite awesome boss battle. Get up, bro.
You can do this. Focus.
Gotcha.
I never beat you in the wilds, did I? It was an illusion. But not this time!
The Mark of Valravan. One of the keys to the gate to Helheim. Hold it in your mind's eye.
With every battle, the darkness grows stronger. Every victory bringing her closer to defeat. Unfair, isn't it? In those dark winter nights in the wilds, there were times when she considered letting go. If it weren't for Druth, a chance encounter in the wilds, she would not have heard his stories of the Northmen. And she would not have this chance to find Dillion's soul.
I'm coming. I still hear
Pretty awesome game. So yeah, Hellblade 2, I'd like to play that again. I have it on the Game Pass, but I didn't renew it. But I have it installed on the NVMe SSD, so super fast transport of textures. When you get to the more modern games, you really want to have those on the, preferably an NVMe, if not, at least an SSD. Some things won't even run on a hard drive, or modern stuff. The Unity, or the Unreal Engine, in fact, it requires an SSD. You can't run it on a hard drive. And I have it on a hard drive, and that explains the crashes I had with it. That's why I use the Unity engine, because it's on the hard drive. I haven't moved the project.
When she was younger, she would lay in the grass and stare at the clouds. And there she saw them. Elusive, shifting faces. After a while, she could see the faces everywhere. The trees, the mountains, caves.
This kind of has vibes of Horizon Zero Dawn, which I have on the PlayStation 4. The first Horizon Zero Dawn I really enjoyed. Forbidden West, I have that on the PS4, but I haven't. So here's ray tracing. Is this ray tracing? It is on, isn't it? Yes, it is. So it looks really cool. Looks pretty awesome. And performance-wise, everything is doing great. Temperatures are nice and cool. CPU is running 59 to 56 degrees centigrade. The graphics card is under 50. Everything else is good. So running it on this seems to be perfectly fine. So I'll have to share it, but because of the 128-bit bus, it interprets this graphics card on the measurements here on the screen. It says it's a 3080 Ti. That's what it's equivalent to in power. 3080 Ti. But much better power usage, 160 watts. It has all the latest 40 series features. And in my case, I can use up to 24 gigs of RAM. It's the 8 gig version of this card. But I can use another 16 gigs of the system memory for a total of 24 gigs. It looks pretty nice. The engine it's built in, I don't know. I don't know if it's Unity or Unreal. Mike, I was also looking at that earlier as well. So, and from my research I've done, they could run it at the highest settings with ray tracing. So path tracing, I don't know. I mean, I don't know, man. Could I do path tracing? I don't know. I'm running ray tracing on high and it runs 60 frames a second. There's no lag at all. No encoding overloaded, nothing. 0 drop frames. I mean, it runs perfect. So I don't know. But it's equivalent to a 3080 Ti. That's what my little temperature screen over here reads. I have all my stats. I can see my temperatures for the CPU, the graphics card. I can see the RAM usage, temperature of the NVMe SSD, and I can see my upload and download all on this little screen over here. It's pretty cool, man. It's nice. You can just see it, you know, so you don't have to go and look on your monitors and your screen. You can just see it right there. Now the only thing I need to get is a better steering wheel. Logitech wheel. I wanted to get one of those ones that Freeware has. I think his Logitech wheel is discontinued, but it has the shifter built onto it or something, I think. Maybe it doesn't, but I'd like to get a better steering wheel. I'll do racing games again here soon, too. Kind of feeling in the mood for it. Like some street racing. Just, it takes a long time to set up everything. The steering wheel and all that stuff. I have to set up a camera to show my feet, you know, shifting the pedals. So it takes a while. It takes a long time to set up for streaming regardless. At least 30 minutes to set up. You know, all these different things you got to do. Yeah, I think that's the one. He said it was discontinued, that they don't manufacture it anymore. And I think he said that he got his from a friend or on the local classifieds or something. But I think it has a gear on it. I think it's like attached to the steering wheel. Like the steering wheel and the gear is like attached right to the side, you know? I think it's on the left side, it could be on the right. Like the shifter better. Yeah. So that's one of the complaints that I see the most often with shifters for the steering wheels. No matter what brand it is, that's what people really look for, is the feel of the shifter. You know, they want something that's very realistic. It gives a little bit of a sound, so you know you're using a shifter, but not too loud, not too of a hard click sound. And also something that has good durability and that's going to last for a while, you know. And has compatibility. Compatibility with different games. Those are the most opinions I see. No, they're not cheap at all. They're several $100s. And I think it's Fanatec, Fanatec, Fanatec. They're like the top deal. They're the cream of the crop. They have like the best motor-driven wheels and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, so what I have is just the, you know, the Thrustmaster T80, which is, you can use it on the PlayStation 4 and you can use it on the computer. There's another version of the same wheel where you can use it on the Xbox or use it on the computer. But mine is PlayStation 4 and computer. I also have an Xbox One, but don't really use it very often. But the wheel that I have is very much a beginner wheel. Like the most beginner phase that there is. It's definitely not a Logitech wheel. But that is something I would like. And the reason being is because I'd like a nice shifter. I want to actually shift. Because I just use the paddle shifters, which is cool. But, you know, pressing the paddle shifters, that's cool. But I'd really like a gear shifter. I think that would be awesome. And I would mount it right here on my desk, right next to the mouse. And then I'd probably take this camera and put it down lower. So it'd be right over the top of my hand on the shifter. You know? And then I have the other camera down underneath like I usually do when I do racing games and I have it show my feet on the pedals. So. But yeah, I'd like to get back into the racing games again, but I really need to get a better desk because the desk that I have I got from the dollar store. It's like $20. It's like the compressed plywood, you know? It's not, you know, it's like the cheapest of the cheap. You have to build it. But it's like, it's a very thin desk. It's like a ½ inch thick. And I have all this shit sitting on it, you know? But I have like books weighing it down and shit, because otherwise if I didn't have books weighing it down, it'd fucking topple over. So it was a cheap one, the old one, yeah. Yeah. So it's just the compressed plywood, you know, the cheapy cheap. And you put it together, yeah. But I'd like to get a better desk, you know, something that's like really thick, you know, like at least an inch thick desk, the top piece of the desk, inch thick, you know, really sturdy. That's what you really need for a steering wheel, because when you're trying to play it like I do, you got to be really careful with it, so you can't like really get into it. You know, that's what I want to do, is really get into it and, you know, really play. But with my desk, I can't do that. I have to be careful, you know. So that's why I'm like really soft and shit. Can't really get into it, you know. But that's what I'd like, is a better desk. But at the dollar store and at Goodwill, they sell a lot of things like that. You can really get a lot of good stuff from the Goodwill or the thrift store or a secondhand store. You can really get a lot of good stuff. It might be gently used, but it's still really good quality, I think. You know, pretty good quality. But yeah, with these settings, man.
Just like
Yeah, a better chair too.
once
I need to get a chair where I can, you know, not sit in 90 degrees, you know, because that's my current chair.
Don't be afraid when they speak to you. I will always be here to guide you.
Did you see her? That was her mother, Galina. She was a priestess, a healer. She taught Senua to see the weave that binds the world together. And it was beautiful.
What chair do you recommend, Mike?
But when it did come, it first came for her mother.
Because I've seen a few of them.
Her face from time
Is there a
to time,
particular chair that you think is probably pretty good?
like she's still watching over her. She misses her so much.
So again, 60 frames running at the highest settings. This is a pretty powerful CPU and GPU. Pretty good rig, especially with the RAM. It's overclocked RAM, 3200 megahertz, 32 gigs. Just got an affordable office chair. No, I mean for the, not a desk chair, racing chair, Mike. Like a, you know, like the racing chairs that you sit low. Yeah. I think you have one, I thought. I thought you had a racing chair, I thought. Okay, so I've got about 23 minutes remaining, so I'm going to use the restroom very quickly. And I'm going to grab me another drink. And probably will not get very far into the rest of this, but I'll be right back in just a second. The FGT chair, the light model that folds. Okay, Mike, so I'm going to jump into Discord for a little bit after the stream. Could you please post that there so I can see what it is? Because if it's an affordable chair, I figure what I could do is for when I do the racing games, move this chair, put it on the side, and set up the racing chair and the steering wheel just for that game, you know, just for the whatever it is. Need for Speed or Assetto Corsa. But I haven't heard of that brand, so that's why I asked. Okay, I'll be right back in just a second. And I've got about 22 minutes remaining, so I'll probably, because I can't really continue on this game too much because it's not going to give me a lot of time, but probably end it here in a second and maybe show a recap of my storyboard, maybe perhaps. I have done that a couple of times, but I'll be right back in just a second. Be right back.
With your feet in the air and your head on the ground. Try this trick and spin it, yeah. Your head will collapse if there's nothing in it, and you ask yourself, where is my mind? 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 Where is my With your feet in the air, your head on the ground. Try this trick and spin it, yeah. Your head will collapse, but there's nothing in it, and you ask yourself.
Alrighty here. So I don't think I'm going to get too far into this. You know, I don't really have too much time to do that. So I completed the boss with Raven, I think his name is. But HellBlade Senua's Sacrifice this is. So there are some other Dreamcast games I would like to get. I was looking on Amazon, and there are some private sellers on there, kind of like a eBay seller that's gone on Amazon, but there's a few different games. I was also looking at dkoldies.com, but I see on YouTube that there's a lot of people that think that he runs a shady business, I guess. I don't know for sure, but I'm just saying what I've read from testimonials and comments. But with that said, I was willing to try that company out because they also have old games and stuff. Okay, so let me see if I can pull up a little recap here. Okay, so I'll show a little bit of a preview or storyboard here. So this is the Castlevania themed game. We have the player-controlled character, which is Cornell. Requires texturing and rigging. I might see if I can show that real quick. So we're going to do an in-battle recap. This is an export screen capture. What we're going to try to do is develop a influenced recap. I'm not going to use Nintendo assets. And this is going to reference to the Legacy of Darkness's boss battle. Sets the context. Cornell is going to wake in a prison. And this is where the scene starts. And the reason he's in the prison, villagers apprehended Cornell shortly after Cornell's defeat of Dracula, accusing Cornell of conspiring with Dracula to bring harm to the village. There's going to be ambience and background sounds in this scene. This is a player-controlled navigable area. We're going to move down here, and we have a goal, which is Cornell exits the prison due to guards being distracted. Another player-controlled navigable area. This is a quest, which this is the quest key, the door key. And then he's going to meet the succubus, which is the main NPC. And her name is Rylan. And she was sent to aid Cornell. Though the entity who sent the succubus is currently unknown. There's going to be voice narration here, a voice acting audio track. Reference to character appearance, and cutscene. And then we're going to enter the Lost Woods, which is the current level, the current state of development that I am at. And I'll show that real quick. Got enough time. Just about 14 minutes. That's enough time here. Okay, so I'm going to show a little bit of a recap of the current state, not only in Blender, but also in Unity. So there's the succubus. Working on her texture paint. She has an animation. Her hair moves. But it seems as though she's missing other animations. So still working on her. There are some things that need to be changed here. So her hair is blowing in the wind. See her hair blowing? So that's the animation running. Yeah, her hair is blowing. But this is the Unity engine. Looks like she's running around 40, 42 frames. Yeah, let's check out Unity. So this is the environment here. What we're going to do is we're going to have Cornell here. This is the wolf man, Cornell. If you remember, I guess I closed the storyboard, but it's going to be Cornell. It's going to be his wolf form. And this is going to be the prison that he's going to come out of. And this environment here is the Lost Woods. Hence all the trees. And I raised him up like this to show him. So. But that is the Lost Woods. So I also have another project on the Unreal Engine as well. But I'm not as far along in the Unreal Engine as I am in Unity. So that's why I figured just continue with the Unity. And also, Unity Engine has pretty good graphics as well. So but it's actually focused in on this chopped head here, and it's running, looks like 43 frames a second. That's what it's rendering here. So the rig I have nowadays is perfectly suited for game development. It has the RAM, it has the storage, it has the power. But I'm not going to save because I didn't do anything, but I just wanted to show it for recap purposes. Okay, so we've got about 9 minutes here. And what I'm going to do is upload this to YouTube. I delete it off of Twitch. Twitch is set to doesn't publish anyway. But I have to manually go on to Kick and delete it there. So. But the reason I do that is because it doesn't keep the VODs around for very long as a non-affiliate. And also, it's to save like a backlog, you know, like an archive, basically. But tonight was Dreamcast, the Evolution 2, and then following was HellBlade, because couldn't get the controller to work for G-String, and also I don't know where the hell I'm going. I have to look up a tutorial. And then a little recap of the game development. So I'll set all of these timestamps later when this video first goes up. It's just going to be bare bones with the title. And, you know, either tonight or tomorrow I'll put specifics in there and timestamps and whatnot. But I have a lot of documentation. I also have a lot of steps and everything to take for the game development. But again, with everything else, I kind of try to approach it all at once, and I need to stop that. I need to kind of do it one piece at a time here. So the next Unity development would be the development of Cornell, which would be using that model in Blender and sculpting it with a reference to Cornell. And then after that, rigging the character with the skeleton. So I know how to do it. The problem is just doing it. And for the past 2 Saturdays, I have done a stream. Ordinarily, I'll just do Friday. But for the past couple of Saturdays, I did a stream. The reason I don't like to do a stream on Saturday is because Sunday, I regret it. So,
I'm a stone cold killer, I'm a billionaire. I got my own gold digger. If I wasn't this way, I'd rather die. Did it die? Yeah. Did it die? Did it die? I'm a stone cold killer, I'm a billionaire. I got my own gold digger. If I wasn't this way, I'd rather die. Did it die? Wait. Did it die? Wait. Did it die? Whatever you want, I'll be whatever you want. Just tell me you love me or not, whatever it costs. I know I'm talking a lot, there's something I gotta get off. Don't wanna be this no more, I don't wanna drink no more. Always gotta do the most, thinking that I'm insecure. Really should've listened more, but I don't, of course. I'm an asshole, I'm a good guy, I'm your best friend, I'm the worst type. Tell you everything that you heard right, just so I can fuck on the first night. Feel like I'm losing hope, running from coast to coast. I don't know where to go, this all I've ever known. I'm a stone cold killer, I'm a billionaire. I got my own gold digger. If I wasn't this way, I'd rather die. No. Did it die? Wait. Did it die? Wait. Did it die? I'm a stone cold killer, I'm a billionaire. I got my own gold digger. If I wasn't this way, I'd rather die. Won't die. Did it die? Wait. Did it die? Wait. Did it die? My aunt think I'm perfect, I know I'm not. My mama be worried, I told her stop. They know I did drugs and think that I'm off. Little do they know I never could stop. My manager hate when I'm pulling up late. Back on my bullshit, she think it's a phase. I got relations I gotta maintain. I'm two different people, my side and my main. Yeah, I'm sober, I'm an addict. I'm a lowlife, I got habits, but I refuse to be average. Really so tired of acting. Don't know what I miss no more. Too bad you don't hit me more. I'm bad when I get too bored. Careful what you wishing for. I'm a stone cold killer, I'm a billionaire. I got my own gold digger. If I wasn't this way, I'd rather die. No. Did it die? Wait. Did it die? Wait. Did it die? I'm a stone cold
Yeah, so this is not overclocked, and it's almost running 5 gigs. Not overclocked. It's running 4.65 gigs. Not overclocked. So yeah, like I said, when it's overclocked, it runs 4.9 gigs, almost 5 gigs. Disk 0, which is the E drive, that's the NVMe SSD. That is a Generation 3 NVMe SSD connected to a Ultra M2 port. It transfers up to 5 gigabits a second. Slower than Generation 4, much slower. Might even actually be 3.5 gigs, 3,500 megabits. Drive C is an SSD SATA 6. And disk 2 is a 7200 RPM platter hard drive. Ethernet is almost a gigabit per second download, 100 megabits per second upload. Broadcom chip in the router. GPU, RTX 4060 Ti overclocked. We're using 8 gigabytes of dedicated GPU memory, and we can use up to 16 gigs of shared memory for a total of 24 gigs. And that is using the RAM, which is the 3200 megahertz overclocked, 32 gigs. Which we're using just under 12 megabits, or 12 gigabytes, sorry. We're using about 35% utilization. Temperatures are nice and steady. But anyways, I will see you later here in just a second. I'm just waiting for the timer to roll over to an hour and a half, which is going to be there in just a second. So I will say thank you for watching, and I'm going to upload this to YouTube. And I'll see you next week, and maybe some more...
Prime Day is coming July 16th
Oh,
and
great,
17th
an advertisement.
with epic deals exclusively for Prime members. You'll feel like a winner.
Behind door number 3 is amazing deals.
Shop deals on electronics, home, and more this
But
Prime Day.
perhaps the Unity
Kevin
game
Hart here.
development
With Chase Freedom Unlimited, you can cash
next
back.
time. So I'm just going to mute the music because it's advertisements. But maybe the game development I'll get back into, and maybe a racing game. Maybe Need for Speed Heat or something like that. But anyways, I will say farewell and thank you for watching. Thank you for coming by. See you later.